There are strange things out there that seem to have no explanation. Sometimes they are conjured up by the darkest corners of our subconscious, but on occasion they dwell beyond the confines of our imagination. They may come from another realm, or out of the sky, or from beyond the grave. Once they set foot into our world, the line between dreams and reality becomes unclear. It's our job to investigate these reports and compile the Virginia Paranormal Case Files.
I've only been working here about a month, but as soon as I started noticing anytime I would go to the bathroom, I would hear footsteps on the hardwood coming towards the bathroom. And I was always convinced it was somebody else that was working here until one night it was just me and Hillary, the manager, and I knew she was up front closing the store down and counting the drawers, so I was back here alone in the bathroom and I heard the footsteps again. That's been the biggest thing besides me feeling creeped out in the mirror room. But that's been my experience here.
I've worked here since the last week of September. And one day I was back here putting some carts away, and I was back here by myself. And I was standing over behind one of the short walls, and I was putting things in a cart, and I happened to look up over to the side, and I saw a black figure. And I was like, okay, this is really weird. Just kind of ignored it, and then when I turned around, it looked like a person was just standing there, and I instantly just looked away and back again, and it was gone. But it was really creepy. It was really tall, looked kind of slender, like a woman figure, but it had a cloak, a black cloak, right over it, and I couldn't really see the face. But it was I don't know, this place gives me the heebie-jeebies. Even just being back here in this area makes me really nervous, and my hand's really cold, so yeah.
I'm hearing this secondhand, but when they opened up this year, there was blood all over this floor. You can see that's the trail, and it goes all the way into that room. And if you lean down, you can see where the pools were. There's one right there. Where's the big one?
I see, yeah, where it still looks like it was a little bit wet there.
Mm-hmm. And it was definitely blood because they had to use WD-40 to get it off the floor. And there's a bunch of bigger, right there. That's the big spot.
It goes out the back door too.
Yeah, and this trail of blood goes out the back door, and it looks like something was dragged off the carpet over here.
What did this store used to be?
A furniture store, but we have rented this store for several years. So then there's trails that go out the back door, and then this blood drips go out the door too. Well, this is right here. You see this?
Yeah.
And there's a trash compactor out there.
Oh, geez. So this store was vacant, abandoned from
This-
the last time you were set up here last year, right?
Yes, the store's been empty since we closed last year until we opened this year. And when Heather can talk to you guys when she gets here, but she found the blood this year.
Well, when I showed up, it was all on the side of that little spot over there by the bathroom, and it was quite a bit of blood, and you could see just a couple trails leading up to it, and then a big spot that looked like it was, I guess, pooled out into the floor. There were actually two spots that looked like that, and then drag marks going away towards the back door.
So just a note, when I first turned this on and was walking around right there, there was a 0.5 that came up. It's now up to 0.1. Now they said that this is the side of the building that is the creepiest feeling. It doesn't feel quite so bad when you come to the front of the store or toward the front of the store. we don't have any EMFs here, .1. But let's walk back toward the back of the store in what they call the red room, because the paint on the walls being red is immediately where I felt creeped out when I first walked back here. It's very, very thick air, I guess. Feels heavy, very heavy back there. Immediately gave me that sort of dizzy feeling. Point 3, point 4, point 6, 7, point 8, point 9, 6, now point 4. Now I've already discovered what could be the source of that EMF. If you come around this way, you'll notice that there is a stock room back here. The stock room adjoins the red room back here. This wall here is what separates the two. And these are the electrical panels that are right here. So this very well, see, we're up to 3.1 here in this room. 3.2, 3.3, 3.8. So these panel boxes that are here are probably the source of the high EMFs that you read over here in the red room. It could also be the reason why there's a little bit of a creepy feeling there as well. Not only do they say the EMFs are supposed to affect the way people feel, but it could be that because of the high EMFs, this is a place where a potential spirit might manifest. As we go away, it's going down, going down, going down. 0.4, 0.2, 0.1.
So that is an interesting temperature reading.
It is.
Not to say there's anything paranormal about it, but it is interesting, that's for sure.
Mm-hmm. Yep, still no EMFs in this area.
All right, so we're going to turn on this. This is as a REM pod, and what it does is it'll put out a field, and if something comes near it, it'll light up as it gets closer. So once something's right up on it, it'll go into that center light, and it'll also detect any temperature changes. So we'll set that down. I wonder what it is about this spot right here. Oh, it stopped now. All right, I'm Jeff.
I'm Linda.
I'm Tanya.
And we'd like to know if there's anybody else here with us. If there is, could you please tell us your name? We'd like to know where all the blood came from that was on this floor. If there's anyone here, can you come near one of these devices for us? Perhaps that little black box with the light on it. All right. Thank you. I'm holding another device here in my hand. If you're able to communicate with us through this, can you tell us your name?
What? Yeah, I'm with you on that.
All the way up my leg.
Can you tell us where this blood came from that was back here on the floor? If you're a male, can you make that box light up again for us?
Thank you.
All right, just to confirm, if you're a female, can you make that box light up for us? So it seems like it is potentially a male. If something happened to you right here within the last year, can you make that device light up for us, please?
How did you get hurt? Can you tell us how? Maybe trying to use this box that's making noise here? Can you try telling us your name?
Can you tell us what kind of a weapon they used? Was it a knife? Was it a gun? Was it a rope?
So it was very interesting that we weren't getting very many responses on the spirit box, specifically because there are plenty of radio stations. You would think that you would have at least been picking up those radio stations, but there was very little coming through there. What was interesting was the fact that the REM pod kept going off. We know that it's not detecting EMFs, it's not detecting static, because everybody was standing perfectly still, nobody was moving. But with the responses that it was giving us, it makes me think it's playing with us. It's kind of toying with us, and kind of, maybe a little game for it. So we're gonna maybe step it up a little bit and see how it likes, mention of God and Jesus.
All
This
right.
was like a kids section too, which is really weird.
Yeah. Well, I had a guy come in, and he was like, "Oh, I worked here last year. Have you seen the ghost?" And I was like, "Oh, haha, yeah, TD." And he was like, "No, it's a little girl." So they said they've seen her in like the tree line back there when they were like unloading stuff. That was
Maybe more than one or something.
Yeah, they said they've also like seen her walking through here, and she plays with the walkie-talkies and talks over the
And
walkie-talkies.
she'll mess them up at like late, like right before we close, and like
Yeah.
they'll all change channels and like go to different frequencies, and then they'll like
Yeah, they
turn
said
on and off.
they said they heard a voice on it.
When we did
Oh.
the board, there was a male for sure, is what it said.
Yeah, but the board said it was a guy, so we assumed it was a guy. But then the guy came in here, and he was like, "Oh no, it's a little girl." And I just thought it was weird that he also knew there was a ghost here, but he like
Right.
didn't think it was the same one.
I would like to know if you believe in God.
Is that the wall?
It was the wall. Yes, it's the wall. Do you believe in Jesus? Can you light that up if you know the Lord's Prayer? Can you light that up if you want us to turn on the spirit box again? Should we try?
Can you light that up if you don't want us to turn on the spirit box again?
All right, we have the spirit box on. Is there anything you'd like to say to us? Do you understand that?
Sound like there's something about John Wayne to me.
John Wayne?
John Wayne. There you have it.
We were trying to determine how you were hurt or how you were killed. Was he scared?
So the last location we were at, this was perfectly quiet. The spirit box has been quiet for the most part all night. But I wanted to come back here to where we initially were getting some responses on this and put it back down and see if there's any difference in some of the responses. We came back over here to talk with you. We want to find out more about the possible homicide that happened here. If you're still over here with us, if you're still over here, can you come near that little device with the red light on it? Can you make it light up again for us? We just want to know if you're still here, that's all. We heard mention of a little girl whose spirit's been seen right out here behind the store. Do you know who this little girl is? It's interesting because we came back over here and we put this device very close to the initial location where we set it down. And the first time over here it was going crazy.
No, nothing.
Now nothing, and there's no obvious natural explanation for why it would be going off then, and now it's just quiet. What could have changed over here? I mean,
Nothing.
Same people are here, the same lights are on, the same everything.
Yeah, everything's pretty much the same.
Where's that knock seem to come from?
Seems like it comes from
Over in
up
this
in,
area.
yeah,
it
up
seems
here.
like it's coming like up there more.
Let's see if we can find out where the knocking is coming from, what it is.
Okay.
Maybe just kind of spread out a little bit, see if we can pinpoint the source of it.
I don't know. I heard the HVAC kick on a little while ago. It was loud. Can you knock again for us?
There's nothing that would be clicking or anything out of there?
Well, the first thing that caught me was the ship's wheel. It sounded like a door opening. Like, listen, if you hear it for a second, listen. Hear it?
No, I heard a laugh though.
A laugh?
Yeah, you didn't hear that? Maybe that's what I heard. Is that the ship's wheel?
No, that's the ship's wheel. The squeaking. But you hear some kind of a knocking going along here? Trying to figure out what it's knocking on. It's almost like whatever's here is not giving us straight answers. Now, at first, when we were back there with the REM pod, I was thinking there's got to be something natural in the environment that is setting this off. I don't know what it could be because the thing puts off a field, puts off a signal, and when you come in and break that signal, that's when the lights start to come on, and the closer you get to the antenna, the more the lights go off. So it's like something has to be coming close to it. Possibly a natural explanation is what I thought at first, though, because of how consistent it was and how when I first set it down on the floor, it started going off. But then it stopped. The questions, we weren't getting the confirming questions. Like I would say, if you're a male, light it up. If you're a female, it would light up. If you're a female, light it up. And then I'd go back and say, all right, if you're not a female, light it up. Try to get a confirming question. But I couldn't get whatever was there to answer the same question twice or in two different ways.
Right.
And then we went back to that red room, and it seemed like it said turn on the spirit box. It lit up for turn on the spirit box.
Yeah.
Now something was lighting this up, be it a natural force or some kind of a paranormal phenomenon. Something was lighting this thing up, and it stopped. It stopped back there in that red room. It didn't light it up at all when we moved to the second location, and then it stopped over here where the blood was found. But I found it interesting that it's one of the last times it lit up was turn on the spirit box. I
Right.
wonder if there's something here that's just, like you said, messing with us,
Yeah.
or if there's something here that's wanting to keep something quiet. Turn on the spirit box so you can't hear whatever else is being said.
Right.
Interesting theory. What'd you find? The source of the knock? Huh?
The wrap snacks.
Oh, I thought you found the source of the knock.
No. Well, the wrap snacks are still here.
Oh yes, definitely
Oh,
a
wow.
plethora.
I don't see or hear the noise anymore. As far as I'm concerned, the first responses we got were the best. I got cold chills. My throat was like scratchy constantly till I just felt like I had to just keep coughing. So that's where I think we got the most responses. And then after that, I didn't feel the chills or anything like that.
So we're going to walk out the back door. The back door is where the blood drips actually lead to and where the drag marks kind of led to. So we're heading out there. They said it led out to the trash compactor. So it's, could be that this is actually something out of the trash that has leaked all over, but we figure it's at least worth checking out. Oh yeah, it smells good out here.
Oh yeah, I can smell the trash compactor.
Yeah. Yeah, it smells terrible back here.
It does.
I mean, if there was a dead body back here at all, you wouldn't smell it.
No, this would be the perfect place to dispose of
It
it,
really
in a
would
trash
be.
compactor next to a seafood
Yeah.
place.
So, what do you think? Is this 64? I-64 here?
Yeah,
Sure looks like it.
it's a conduit.
Well, not only that, but it could be that somebody was killed out here on 64. I guess there's a possibility that it could be somebody from an auto accident because it's so close. It's a distinct possibility. Did you come out here? Are you hiding out here? What is that? Must be something fan kicking on. Can you come near this box and make it light up? Does the little girl come from the Interstate? It would be a hub of energy around here. We've got airplanes flying into the local airport and flying out all the time. I mean, it was right a stone's throw from here, the airport is. We've got I-64 right here. We've got all of these shops, all of these shopping centers and buildings and businesses, right? And then we're sandwiched because here's Jefferson Avenue, a very busy, heavily used street. So there's probably a lot of energy here, I would think. I told Jeff that the little girl that's seen back here in the tree line, she could have actually come from I-64. She could have been killed in an auto accident because we're so close to 64. So we didn't have a whole lot of responses through Spirit Box or through EVP during this session of investigation. But we did have two things that we thought were particularly interesting. And we pulled up the first one, and the first one is just as clear as the second one is. And it's kind of an interesting response. We were asking, is there anything that you'd like to tell us or anything that you'd like to say? And to us, we're kind of, I guess, split on what exactly it says. But the first part of it definitely says George. One of us thinks that it says George drove me. Some other people claim that it says something totally different. So the last part of this, after it says George, maybe you can let us know what you think of it. Now, in the second clip, we were standing very much in the same place, and we were asking further questions as we usually do. This one was, how were you killed, or who hurt you, or how were you hurt? And this was the response that we got. It sounded to us like maybe the person said was under the truck. We were trying to determine how you were hurt or how you were killed. So two very clear responses, and it's particularly noteworthy that this store that we were in backs up to the interstate. So it's possible that there could have been some sort of a traffic accident out on the interstate at one time that resulted in a fatality. Perhaps this spirit that is walking around inside the Spirit Halloween store is just attracted to the location for some reason, but was actually killed back on the interstate.